Nothing like some neat southern comfort to blow the cobwebs away. Cheers. Hello YouTube, hope everyone's keeping well out there. Pickups. I believe this is episode number 9, is it? And as per usual, I'm going to go through all the games in chronological order. Let's turn this down a bit. I've got one of these games playing in the background, see if you can guess which one it is. So we're going to start with the Spectrum, and if you've seen my Spectrum collection video, then these were in there, so it's nothing new per se, but I'm running quite far behind with my pickups. All these are probably from a good couple of months back now, but I am gradually catching up with the pickups. It's just getting around to make the videos really, so they're quite old for me, these. First one for the Spectrum is 3D Starstrike, which is basically a clone of Star Wars, the arcade game. Has that kind of aesthetic, cockpit view, shooting down spaceships and things like that. They're just not TIE fighters. Plays really, really well, looks nice, and is yeah, a great game on the Spectrum. The next Spectrum game is Starquake, and this has got a lovely graphical style, very similar to a couple of games that I really like. Deja Vu and Cybernoid 2 kind of looks like that and plays like that. It's like an adventure game. You're on a planet and you've got to drill to the Earth's core, get into the Earth's core, I believe, before it blows up and causes a chain reaction. It destroys the entire universe, something like that anyway. And it's one of those games, it controls really well, plays really well, but the enemies are just programmed like absolute nutters, just sort of randomly just going everywhere all over the screen. Really hard to dodge, but patience, and you really master the game. Really good game, thoroughly recommended. And this one is a game that I saw again on the top 50, best of Spectrum games, and it's Nebulous, and this is gorgeous. It's been released on the Game Boy as something else. I can't remember what it was called. Let me know in the comments below. Castle Area, but it's like a tower game. Basically, you've got to get to the top of 8 different towers, and obviously you've got hazards there, enemies, platforms that fall down, lifts that take you up to the next level, and the idea is to traverse this and scale up this tower to get to the top, and then you destroy it by jumping on the top of it. And it kind of looks a little bit like a primitive version of Fez, the indie game by Phil Fish, which I'm still really wanting to play actually. Has anyone seen that Indie Games the movie? Check it out, it's really good, thoroughly recommended, worth a download. But yeah, Nebulous, great game, and a technical marvel for the Spectrum. I saw this and thought, oh my god, that I have to get that. And it's quite a pricey, hard to find game, this one. Well, pricey, £20 odd, something like that, which is the most I paid for a Spectrum game. But I had to get this one. It just looks really good, and it plays very, very well. Really looking forward to putting some more time into that one. Next, I've got something for the Super Famicom, and it's Hyperzone, a very early game, Japanese game, this one. I've got my Super Nintendo console modded to play Japanese, and I've got a converter for America, so I'll get the 60 hertz out of this. The extra 10 hertz of frame speed really helps with the game. And this is basically a love child of, say, Space Harrier and F-Zero. Again, a very early game, I think it's 1991, something like that. Not a particularly deep game, there's not too much to it. You're just going off in the back, into the screen as this hovercraft, F-Zero-esque sort of car really, or hovercraft, spaceship. And you go to the top to the bottom of the screen, dodging out of the way of obstacles coming towards you and shooting enemies that are in your way, or rocks or anything that's in your way, asteroids. And yeah, so they're really going to town showing the Mode 7 in this as well, and it's like a trippy sort of dream really. Some of it just really messes with your eyes if you look at it for too long. I'll chuck a video up in the corner there. But yeah, a nice arcadey game, easy to play, not particularly deep, but recommended. Very, very good. Next, we're going to jump onto a magazine. I haven't really been getting into too many magazines as such. But this one I used to really like Edge magazine back in the day, and I used to always remember going into Virgin and HMV and listening to some CDs on the kiosk that you would take over. You know, you take it to the kiosk and then play it on the machine so you could listen to it. And whilst I was there, I remember in HMV especially, the magazine section was there, and I would always grab Edge. Being a designer as well, I quite liked the graphical style and the page layouts and things like that. It was a very well designed and laid out magazine. And this, again, I don't really want to go too far down the rabbit hole, which is magazine collecting. There's a few I wouldn't mind, but this one I quite liked. It's from 2000 and God, I don't know what. 2007-ish, and it's the 100 best video games. I had to get this one, nice big thick magazine, and yeah, I still really enjoy looking at game related stuff like this in paper, physical form rather than on screen, digital form. Still need to go through this one, but yeah. Just goes through 100 of the greatest games of all time, in their opinion. And yeah, keen to give that one a little view. Really nice little book, that one. That one I picked up on eBay for about £4, something like that, which I think is an absolute bargain. It's in lovely condition, used condition. Jumping on to the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2. This is the game playing in the background. It's Haunting Ground, and it looks like a nice 3D old school Resident Evil, but I think it plays a bit more like Clock Tower, where you've got to escape and evade the baddies that are coming in. But it's got a lovely vibe to it, and I'm a huge fan of horror games, and this one's by Capcom, and I believe the dog in this plays quite a significant part. Whether or not, you know, he sort of warns you and you can send the dog out. I can't remember. I remember seeing a video for this ages ago, but it was on my list. And I got this prior to the last lockdown. So, yeah, got this for a good price. Really looking forward to this. Love my horror games. And the next one I've got here is Taito Legends 2. Love these little compilations of all the games of old. Puzzle Bobble 2, Darius Gaiden, Space Invaders DX, and many more arcade classics. Yeah, really love these little compilations. Such a good way to play some of the classic old arcade games. Right, I've got a ton of 3DS. I've been really sort of hoovering up the 3DS titles. And Argos had a really good sale on a little while back, and I picked a few up for click and collect, with obviously the pandemic going on at the moment. Some of these are sealed. They're all sealed, the ones I've got from Argos. I've got Zelda Triforce Heroes, Pokemon Sun. Probably going to leave that sealed actually, although I wouldn't mind dipping my toe into Pokemon. I mean, I'm not really part of that brand really. I don't really watch the cartoons, but I wouldn't mind checking some of the games out. And Pokemon Moon and Sushi Striker, which I will open because I think my wife wants to play this one, and it's yeah, a nice sort of puzzly game. Strategy puzzle game, and we love our sushi, so that's probably the reason she wants to get that one opened. Got loads more 3DS. Got Paper Mario Sticker Star. It's not supposed to be too bad, this one. It's not one of the best, but it's certainly not one of the weakest Paper Mario, so that one. Tekken 3D, which I've been playing for the last few nights and really enjoying it. Kind of reminds me of the Tekkens of old. You know, the glory days of Tekken really, but more of that later in this very video. Really good. The way they cram all these fighters in on this. I mean, how many are on there? It's like all of them, I think. Does it say? No, but there's a ton of fighters in here, all the classic fighters. There's no real one-player story mode though, which was a bit of a shame. But I'm still enjoying the game, playing with Lei Wulong, one of my favourite characters. And yeah, the way they've crammed this game into the 3DS, and it looks and plays really, really well. I really enjoy it. I used to love my Tekkens of old. Kirby Triple Deluxe, bit of Kirby, don't mind the chap. This one's supposed to be quite good. Yeah, so there's that one. Fire Emblem Echoes. I'm currently playing Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS and really enjoyed it. Yeah, I've not really got into my tactical RPGs like that, but really enjoying that one. It's apparently like one of the top 5 games, critic-wise, review-wise, on the 3DS. And Epic Mickey, which is supposed to be quite good. Yeah. The old paintbrush there. Power of Illusion. That one. Next for the PlayStation 3, there's only one game, and it's another Tekken game. It's Tekken 6. For me, one of the weakest in the series. Definitely started to take a little bit of a nosedive. I mean, I can't remember what it was about this game that I didn't like. Maybe it was the story becoming a bit cliche and not really pushing the envelope enough, really, with the PlayStation 3. I was looking forward to a Tekken game on this. The game's on the PlayStation 1, and the Wii U Tekken is absolutely awesome. But Tekken 3, Tekken 2, Tekken 3 is probably one of my favourite Tekken games. It's aged so well, and definitely one of the best. So much bang for your buck in that game. You know, you had loads of game modes, you had all those stories to unlock, and all the characters. But yeah, something was just lacking with this one. But I had to get it anyway, because I'm a Tekken nut, fighting game fan. For the Wii U, I've got Mario Party 10. Me and the wife booted this up about a week ago, and yeah, with a few glasses of wine, it was really good fun. But I can imagine it's better with more people around. So obviously, when lockdown eases and we're able to have friends over like we used to back in the good old days, give this one a bash with a few drinkies and some light bites. It'll be great. Yeah, really good that one. And last for the PS4, and I'm going to start with this one, Tekken 7. Oh, I was so hoping they were going to improve on Tekken 6, but you know, it's probably the worst Tekken there is. With Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, the big thing that I used to love was getting a character, going through the story mode, seeing the really cheesy FMV video movie at the end, once you complete it with that character, and then unlocking another character. In this, the gameplay's alright, but it's just, everything's downloadable, and this is one of the worst things about gaming today, where you have to pay £4 for a character. Lei Wulong, one of my favourite characters, a staple of the series since Tekken 2, you need to download him for £4. Ridiculous. I want to play a fighting game and earn that character by, you know, completing the story or whatever. It's so bare bones, really disappointing. And I'm just waiting for like an Ultimate Edition. I can imagine this coming out now for the PlayStation 5. Slightly enhanced graphics, lazily done, but with all the stuff on there. And when it comes down to tenner, then I'll jump in a good few years' time. But yeah, disappointing this. Me and the wife really enjoy the Tekken games. Again, like me, she used to really enjoy completing it and watching the cheesy movies at the end. And she likes watching the animes and stuff like that. But yeah, she thought this was disappointing. The character roster isn't quite there. It's just bare bone. It's lazy, and it's a bloody rip-off. And you can tell probably I'm quite mad with it. Anyways, that one. Another game I've played, and we finished with the wife. If any of you are aware of a channel called Food for Dogs, it's this lovely, sweet, mature lady that's from New Zealand, I believe she lives. or Australia, no, I think it's New Zealand. And I do watch her videos, and she's quite, knowledgeable about her game. She loves her RPGs and things like that. And this is a point and click called The Raven Remastered. I believe this was a game originally on the PC, maybe other platforms, I don't know. And in this, it's a mystery game where it's a kind of whodunit, and you have to, you're a bit like a Poirot character. You take the lead of this guy, and then other characters later on. I won't give too much away in case, spoilers, but my wife really enjoys these sort of games, point and click, working things out, going through scenarios. But this one was a bit boring, really. It's a bit dull. It was one of those where you didn't really have too many options. There was only one option in order to do it, so it didn't feel like there was too many branching paths, and you would have too many different outcomes and scenarios. It was a bit linear, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And great music in it, very Bernard Herrmann, Hitchcockian sort of music. Really nice music. The voice acting was great. The controls were quite clunky. The protagonists you'd walk them around, and they had this like really weird kind of Mr. Soft. Do you remember that advert, Mr. Soft, with the Treble soft mints? That sort of like walk to them, it just seemed a little bit clunky. But yeah, we got through it. The story was interesting enough to get us through it, but I can't recommend that one really. It's a curiosity at best. This one I've seen has got great reviews. Many people pick it up on the Nintendo Switch. I don't own a Switch. Agalos. I love these sort of games, and apparently it's got great reviews. It's got a lovely 16-bit, 8-bit aesthetic. Yeah, can't wait to get stuck into that one. Looking forward to that. The last Assassin's Creed game I played was Syndicate on 4, and I do try to kind of space myself between the Assassin's Creed games because they're annual. They're pumping them out, Ubisoft, way too frequently. But I really enjoyed Syndicate. I loved 2 back on the PlayStation 3 with Ezio. Great, running around Florence, and Rome later, wasn't it? And one of the games after that, really good. I thought 3 was disappointing. I didn't bother with Black Flag, and I didn't bother with Unity because that was a buggy mess apparently. But Syndicate I really enjoyed on the PlayStation 4 because I love that Victorian, old London time period and look, through all the cobbled streets. And yeah, I really enjoyed that game. But this is another one I was quite keen to play because I like the idea of running around ancient Egypt, and it's Assassin's Creed Origins. I've also got Odyssey, which will be coming up in another pickups video, spoiler, because I love that one's apparently much more RPG, and they've taken things in a little bit more of a direction. But again, I haven't played Assassin's Creed for a while, so I'll give this one a go, and then I'll probably give it another couple of years, and then play Odyssey. But I'm not really into the what's the latest one? Valhalla, isn't it? Looks alright. I probably will check it out in years and years time. And lastly, the last pickup for the PlayStation 4 is Mortal Shell. Curious game this. I love my Dark Souls. Anyone that watches my videos knows that. Bloodborne, Demon Souls. I'm still yet to play and even purchase Sekiro, which I must pick up soon. And this one's kind of got a Dark Souls flavour where you'll have a life. If you get killed, your currency stays there at your body, and you'll need to then get back to claim it. And if you don't get back there again, it's gone for good. Although you still keep your weapons and other certain items that you collect along the way. Mortal Shell though, it was tough. It's a difficult game, but I found it quite tricky to get my head around, like the map and what I had to do at first. But once you do, I really got into it. I nearly put this game down. It was one of those where I was like, right, a couple more goes. I've got to get into this because I hate giving up on games. A bit like when I used to read books. So I've got to see a book to the end. I've got to see a game to the end. And yeah, started this one and just couldn't, it just didn't click. And then when I started to understand where I was in the world, and that was a hub world, and you would go off into 3 different other worlds and start to understand like the game setup, it all started to click, and I really, I couldn't put it down after that. It's a bit of an experimental game and almost a bit like a demo in a way, where it's kind of an indie developer, and I will be keen to see what they do next. Who is it by? Colo? Playstack? Yeah. Be keen to see what these guys do next. But anyway, it seems like they were trying to produce a game, and it's not quite like a fully fledged game, although it still takes a good bit of time, especially because it's so difficult. You got your hub world, and you'll go into 3 different other worlds, and the idea is to sort of, you've got these different shells in this, and they're kind of like skins, armor, souls that you will possess. There's 4 of them, and each of them have different stats. One of them's a tank character, so really physical, but maybe their stamina's not very good, etc, etc. And one's really good at, you know, running around really quickly, but doesn't really take a hit. Things like that. 4 different skins, and you can go back to your little hub world when you save and go into those shells anytime you wish. Upgrade weapons. You get a few different weapons. I think it's like 4 or 5 different weapons that you can upgrade. A sword, like 2 little like knife katana-y things, spear and an axe. But yeah, I do recommend it. You have to stick with it though. But again, if you're not into your Dark Souls games or anything like that, it's probably not a game for you. Those are the pickups, and next week I'm going to be off to the Isle of Wight with the family for a little break in a sweat box in a caravan for 5 days. And I don't know if you're anything like me, the first thing I do is look at good places to eat, and are there any retro video game stores around? And there's 3 stores over there that I've seen. They've got a game over there, but I'm not bothered about that. They've got 3 retro game stores, and the beautiful thing with the Isle of Wight is you can travel across it in like 40 to 50 minutes, depending on which, you know, north to south or east to west you want to go. And they're not too far from where we're actually staying on our caravan. So the plan is to hopefully come back after receiving loads of amazing games and do a little Isle of Wight exclusive pickups vid, or, and if I ask permission, I might do a few little videos of the shops as well if the owner allows me to, and maybe do that at the same time or do that in a separate video, I don't know. But anyway people, thank you very much for your time. As always, everyone take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again.